Please welcome Kevin Smith.
Fellow classmates, family, friends, distinguished guests, it is a great privilege to be before you at this pivotal milestone in our lives. All of us have had some sort of transformative experience, some definitive moment that has led us to set out on this journey. And I am undyingly grateful for the opportunity to share in my journey with you, the most courageous, big-hearted, and intelligent group that I've ever had an opportunity to be around. We're united by shared values, aspirations, and our dreams. But I would suggest that our greatest bonding agent is that of fear. Fear. Remember our first cold calls, our first exams 1L year? Fear is a powerful bonding agent. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about fear. I've even been fearing fear itself. My apologies to the late President Kennedy. But my reflections were partially prompted by an icebreaker at a recent event. The subject was courage, and attendees were asked, what were you most afraid of as a child? For me, the answer was easy, The Wizard of Oz. I loved that movie as a child, but I was terrified of it. Now, earlier, just a moment ago, I said that you were the most courageous, big-hearted, and intelligent group that I'd ever had an opportunity to be around. And I really meant that. Those were intentional adjectives. I was channeling my inner Dorothy. Fear has a unique way of compelling us into action. And for me, one of the most fearful moments of my life came when I witnessed my cousin, Jim, being arrested. The image, it affected me profoundly. I had always looked up to Jim because he was a DJ and he owned a record shop, and I would just lose myself combing through the crates of vinyl in his store, Across the Track Records. It was there that I was convinced that a vastly different world existed beyond the sweet potato and tobacco fields of my hometown in North Carolina. And even his name was symbolic. Across the Tracks alluded to the railway that literally separates our hometown by both race and class. I often felt suspended between those tracks, with one foot toward promise and the other planted in a setting with limited opportunity. Many people thought that I would be stuck by what they saw as my harsh realities. How could I succeed as the son of a young black mother who hadn't yet finished high school and a young father working to provide for the three of us? But it was the fear of living up to the expectations that the world had set out for me that motivated me to seek intellectual currency for the purchase of opportunity that my socioeconomic status suggested that I could not afford. It was deeply traumatizing to see someone that I loved and admired being in handcuffs. But that experience, it motivated me to seek out law as an instrument of change. Now, at this great inflection point in our lives, I think about what I will miss most about being with all of you. And I would suggest that it's the healthy fear of not living up to the standards that we've set for each other as a community. Members of this community, names you've already heard, like Mario Paredes, Michael Ona, Lizzie Hennessy, who I believe will be at the vanguard of advocacy in the fight for justice. People like Michelle Shortsleeve, Andrew McDonough, and Ken Metter, who have raised children while studying law. Yeah. Women like Rima Mahmood, Michal Shani, Andrea Coro, who I believe are poised to set the corporate world on its ear and will shatter any and every glass ceiling imaginable. And trust me, these are just a few that come to mind when I think about the collective stories and merits of our group. And I most certainly will keep a healthy fear of living up to the standards set by professors like Frankel, Bridges, and Pettit, who have been our intellectual, moral, and ethical North Stars. guiding us toward a more successful future. I still feel the pain of seeing my loved one arrested so long ago, but I'm no longer fearful. I'm not afraid of what the future holds. There will be lions, there will be tigers, there will be barriers, but I have no doubt in my mind that we will be the innovators, the leaders, the dreamers that this world needs, and our voices will be heard from Beacon Hill to Capitol Hill and even Sand Hill Road in Silicon Valley, from communities in the Deep South to state and federal courtrooms and Wall Street boardrooms. Armed with a fierce brand of intellect, compassion, and courage, we'll be there, poised to affect change. And trust me, if we continue to invest in each other as we have as a community over the past 3 years, we will be the mightiest cohort that this institution has ever dispatched into the world. So class of 2018, congratulations and farewell, my friends.